What's going on, guys? It's me, Cam, back at you right before marathon launch that comes out tomorrow. I'm doing a reaction video to Kruzer. If you don't know who Kruzer is, he's on YouTube. He's usually my go-to right now for all things marathon, just because the dude knows what's up. So we are gonna watch one of his videos that he made, and the reason I want to watch his video is because, well, he basically says what it is. So that's why I want to see what it is. I want you guys to watch his video. He has a lot of good content, but he brings up great points in this video. So before I start the video, I just want to point out that you should definitely give this guy a follow. He has a lot of good marathon content out there. And the reason I want to watch this is because, well, I noticed his title when it came across my For You page, and I find it funny because I made that my stream title on Saturday because I was getting a little turnt and I wanted to rage bait on my stream. Uh, full honesty. But something I do want to point out, like, even though I find this funny and I am also said the same thing, I'm still learning stuff too. Just it's funny in 2026 that we get offended by getting called bad. We're like, I'm bad too. He says something in this that I'm like, fuck, I had no idea that's what it did. That's okay because this game has a very steep learning curve, and like, there's so much stuff in it. The game has so much depth that it's impossible to soak all the information in, so sometimes you need to go look at different stuff. So, I wanted to play this today. We can watch because there's a lot of good things in here that can help you on launch that is coming out tomorrow. So, let's get into it.
All right, what's going on, guys? My name is Paul, but you guys can call me Kruzer, and welcome back to another marathon video. So, in my last video, I was talking about how, it's a skill issue. I think that's why people aren't enjoying marathon. In the comments, obviously everyone's going to be hating, whatever. It really is true. And obviously, I don't want to say it's a skill issue. All right, I'll take that back. That's on me. That's a little bit too harsh, right? But it's just a lack of experience and a lack of knowledge on the game. That is why you guys weren't enjoying it. And it's all right to be bad at the game. I was bad at the game. Then I put the time in. I learned it. I'm not the best, but I'm way better than I was when I first played it on the day one of the Server Slam. All right. It really is true, man. So initially when the Server Slam dropped, it's a first person shooter. It's a Bungie game. Everyone thought they knew what to expect when they got on the game. But the day before the Server Slam, I was telling everyone, expect it to be slow. You're going to have to build yourself up, work your way up, and work on the contracts and the upgrades. And I think we need to set realistic expectations for what this Server Slam is going to be like. I know this is going to be a lot of people's first time playing an extraction shooter. We have been talking about the build crafting. We've been talking about how cool the PvP and the gunplay is going to be. But when you first sign into the Server Slam, I don't think it's going to be what you guys expect. But it's going to be slow. All right. So just remember that. You're not going to be doing all this cool movement tech and getting all these crazy kills as soon as you get on. I just want the expectations to be realistic. But once you're 10 hours into the test, you get to level 30, then you'll be able to start PvPing and just having fun running around. I said it the day before the Server Slam came out in my video. When the Server Slam dropped, it was slow. You had to work your way up, you had to learn the game, and you had to work on your upgrades. So the Server Slam dropped, and yeah, it was slow. People were expecting you to just run it down and just be able to kill everybody in the lobby, get 30 kill games like it was a battle royale. No, it's an extraction shooter. And everyone keeps comparing it to Arc Raiders, but I think this game is closer to Tarkov. I think it's like a faster paced Tarkov. It's not as ratty as Tarkov, obviously, but it's more of a traditional extraction shooter than it is like some social hub like Arc Raiders is. I think people just came into the game with the wrong mindset. And then when you go on Twitter or you go on Twitch and you see some streamer that, they're good at games, right? Don't get me wrong. They think they know what they're doing when they get onto Marathon. And man, people were hating on it, obviously, right? People just felt like the game was so.
That first wave of videos on social media, if you were on it at all, Twitter, bro, like Thursday, Friday, was brutal. People were fucking ripping this thing, and like I remember specific clips of like Ninja talking shit about this, and he was just getting ripped apart by people in this game. Like, shout out to Fizzle. I saw his team fucking wipe them, him and Symphony. Destiny guys on top for real. But hey, I mean, there was so many people saying, "Oh, this game's buns," just because they couldn't adjust to the learning curve. And this game has a massive learning curve. Like, don't get it twisted. It's not for everyone. I like it because it's something new, but it definitely expose some people, I think.
Flow, they thought that there was no PvP. Then you start sinking more hours into it. Look at this map right here. Once I go to algae ponds, oh, it's always lit here. I'm always fighting a team here. Oh, once I go to maintenance, there's arm lockers, so I can open lockers
This
and
map
get
is so
guns.
sick.
Or like, oh, I spawned at bio research. Let me go and rush through greenhouse and let me go to algae ponds because I know that's where all the PvP is. Or like, you'll hear a sound cue. Oh, that's the sound cue for the supply drop.
I'm running for that. They just called in the supply drop.
It's just small things that add up, but you could really force PvP in this game. And again, like I said, it's a lack of experience and knowledge. So the game felt slow. You didn't know how to force PvP when you first started playing. Now what we're seeing is people saying that the game is a banger. I'm telling you, give it a chance.
This sniper is so good. I only got a couple runs with it because I'd like get like 2 runs of it, would kill slay people, and then I'd go and just get wiped, and then I'd lose it. But that gun's so good, so good.
It's so much fun. You have to learn the game, learn the flow of the maps, and learn the hotspots, learn how to get good loot, and it's fun. By the way, if you guys are liking the videos, you guys want to see more marathon content when the game comes out, before the server slam, I was already invested. But after playing this whole week, I'm even more invested. And I haven't even been able to play as much as I want to. My internet keeps going down, so I didn't get to stream as much. I didn't get to play as much, but it's all right. It's good that it happened during the server slam rather than the full game. So drop a like. Remember to sub. All right, let's get into it. I just mentioned it, like how you can force PvP, right? First thing you got to do is read the map. Depending on where you spawn, like I just said, if you spawn bio research, you got to know the spawn points. With enough repetition and enough runs under your belt, you'll kind of learn the spawn points of the map. So if you spawn bio research, you know a team always spawns complex, whether it be...
This is a massive point that he's talking about that it didn't click for me until like Saturday. Um, Especially on perimeter, not so much this one. I'm still learning this one. I know for myself, there was like one time where I spawned Eastgate right here and was like, okay, there's probably at least one dude that spawned over here, and like, sure enough, we met right here. I did not win that engagement, unfortunately. A couple other engagements I had is I spawned over here in quarantine, and this is kind of a dead zone. And I was like, you know what? There's got to be at least one on this side of maintenance, or maybe this side. And sure enough, I went from this side of quarantine all the way right to here, and there's a dude just right here looting. Able to get him. Didn't have shit, but learning the spawn points on these maps is a massive, massive, massive way to thin the herd and make it so you can actually go loot while also wiping the lobby, especially solo teams. Because I think it's 6 teams on this, 5 on perimeter. The more you wipe out, the more you can go do all this other shit.
down here at the bottom right of the map, whether it be back here at the east gate or whether it be like somewhere right here. And if you spawn bio research, you'll either spawn right here somewhere, I believe. It's like in this vicinity, or you'll spawn over here on the left side in this lake. So if I spawn on this left side of bio research, I'll know, oh, all right, I'm going to go to greenhouse because I know algae ponds is always lit. But if I don't spawn there and I spawn on the right here, it's like, all right, I'm going to go clear complex real quick, because I know a team's going to spawn here. When you go there, you just got to listen for people shooting bots, because people will always shoot bots. Honestly, if they are even shooting the bots, you know they're just a bot squad. Like, they're not that good of players, because the good players, they'll be knifing the UASC. They're not making noise. You're not supposed to be detected by the bots. That's one of the things. And, when I play with like the really good people that play tested the game, they're not making much noise. They're just moving. They know how to maneuver around the map without being loud, and they're just listening. They're listening for people shooting bots, doing activities. But obviously, like, just off rip, you want to try to find a squad to fight. And if you don't got a good spawn, like let's say you spawn on the left side of bio research, like I said, just go straight to algae ponds, run through greenhouse, and you'll either find people at intersection. There will be an event, like a supply drop that spawns right here where my mouse is, or you just go on top of algae ponds because there's a roof and you can kind of scout the map. So once you get to intersection or algae ponds, you gotta look out for maintenance.
If you get that algae ponds roof and you got a thermal sniper, GG's, you're gonna cook.
You gotta look out for people coming up from the hill, from AI uplink. Like I said, you just start to learn the flow of the map. And honestly, I never go to quarantine. Like, these are the dead zones. Like, I never see people here. I never I think I've gone into like 1 or 2 fights, but this is like a spawn point. You know, it's just not worth it most of the time to run all the way to this edge of the map. The central hub on Dire Marsh is algae ponds. But like I said, with enough repetition, enough matches played, you kind of learn the flow of the maps. Like I will never go to complex unless there's an exfil or if I spawn close to it. It's just most of the time not worth it. Unless you have like a key room. Obviously, there's a key room here in complex. There's a key room here in quarantine. But yeah, for the most part, you know, you just want to stay in the center of the map. Like there's kind of like a circle here, right? There's the veil right here from the anomaly. There's this giant highway that goes up. It leads in an intersection, algae ponds. So like this whole center of the map is like just PvP right here. So again, I don't think people knew that the day one. So like I was watching streams and they wouldn't even go to algae ponds, bro. So people were judging it too early. Then we go to like perimeter or something, right? And so this is perimeter. And I think the layout of this map is very interesting, right? So I had a match where I believe we spawned North Relay, like behind the building North Relay. Obviously, we know if we spawn here, there's 2 like almost guaranteed fights that we can take off of it. There will be a team that spawns here at station behind the mountain because there's a giant mountain right here. So there'll either be a team right here or they spawned on the right side of station. So off rip, we rushed it. By the time we got to this building right here, we started hearing people shooting. So I guess the team that spawned station, they got pinched by us and another team that spawned here in South Relay. So we're not even looking to loot or at all. We're just looking at PvP just right off rip, because once you PvP and you get kills on the map, then you can loot. You can do any activity on the map pretty easily, right? Because that's another thing. On perimeter, only 5 teams spawn, I think. It's either 4 or 5 teams. We'll try to kill a team off rip just so we could loot like an area more freely. So again, like I said, we killed this team station. They spawned here. They were doing a supply drop.
That's literally the gameplay loop.
I killed the dude with a purple shield, and then we just kept moving. Once we killed that team, we went to South Relay, and I was just finishing my contract. It was as simple as that. But most of the time, the real PvP, it will happen at Hauler, Overflow, and like this whole area of the map right here, this circle. Where I'm circling right now is like where a lot of PvP happens. But Hauler is so important because it has so many arm lockers. So you can get a lot of guns here. And Overflow will have like a high value target boss that spawns there. Also, there are supply drops. So again, I'm on this website called taocity.gg. But there are supply drops that spawn around the map. So this is one of the spawns right here. There is another one that spawns in between Overflow and South Relay. I believe it's like right here where my mouse is. It's not on the map yet. I got to tell them to add it. And then there's another supply drop that spawns at station on this like helicopter pad. So those are the 3 supply drop spawns. So again, like I said, you hear the audio cue and you'll just know, oh, I'm looking up in the sky. If it's not near me, it's like, all right, I'm not stressing it, but I know to head in that area because I know there will be people to fight. The reason I'm explaining this is you just know how to force PvP fights when you have that knowledge. The game speeds up and it's so much more fast paced when you have the knowledge. You can force fights whenever you want to. You can avoid fights if that's not what you want to do. Another thing is we don't even have all the faction upgrades, right? You're playing the game at 1/10 of the speed that the game is supposed to be. We don't have any of these heat upgrades. So there's 3 really important ones that give you increased heat capacity. There is an upgrade called Quick Vent. It gives you heat recovery speed, and you can upgrade that twice. There is another one that increases the recovery rate, and you can upgrade it twice. So a 30% heat recovery rate. Then there is another upgrade that generates less heat when you slide. There is another upgrade with Mida that increases your base agility speed, which increases your movement and jump height. So we're missing that. That is a big base stat upgrade. We're missing full throttle, which will speed up the beginning of the game. You gain the effects of cardio kick for a short duration at the beginning of each run. We don't have that yet. We can't buy cardio kicks from Mida yet, which is the adrenaline shot that will speed up the flow of the game. And then Sakaguchi, we don't have TAC Amp EXE, reduces the tactical recovery cooldown. And you can upgrade this twice. Same with Prime Amp EXE, reduces the cooldown of your Prime ability, which you can upgrade twice. Like, we're already kind of forcing PvP now in this server slam without these upgrades. So just imagine what the game will be like and how fast the game actually can be with those things. So obviously it will speed up and the gameplay is going to be way different when the actual game comes out. I think a lot of people are going to actually play safer, more reserved, but it's going to be a lot more competitive when the full game's out. I think there was a lot to learn in the server slam. I kind of know what I'm going to focus on in the full game now. Once you get the contracts out of the way and once you level up, then I'll focus more on like my loot and my gear. Then I'll start getting stocked up for when Cryo Archive comes out and when Ranked comes out. But I think that should be number one priority. And I was saying this before the service lane drop. Number one priority, finish the contracts, get the upgrades. It's kind of like in Destiny, you know, when a new Destiny expansion comes out, people do the campaign and then they start doing the power grind. Get the power grind out the way, then you can do the raids, then you can do trials. It's the same concept, just in a different format. And I think that's where the issue is, though, right? If I was Bungie, I would have made it so you can go to like level 15 with all the factions or something, or like level 16, because the game is way different when you have these upgrades.
Yeah, getting capped at like level 10 and 9 on all the factions was kind of tough, but it's a server slam. It's encouraging you to get the game. But if you went and looked through the UI, which I'm sure most people did not because they were, number one complaint, but you could see how to speed it up, the different kind of type of upgrades the factions have. So you can kind of anticipate, like, okay, I need to do this in order to do this, and then it'll help this, you know?
I don't think they should have let people get every single upgrade, but I think some of the essential ones like the heat upgrades or like some of the base stat upgrades, it would have been nicer. Another issue people were saying that they had was the loot was so insignificant. So once you learn the flow of the map, by the time you learn the flow of the map, you learn the events that happen in the map. So there's multiple ways to get good loot, and people were getting like purples and golds. So first of all, there's the key rooms. How do I get a key? You get a key from opening the lockboxes. Once you get a lockbox key, you will find these flare rooms around the map, and these flare rooms will have a bunch of boxes that are locked. You open them and there's a chance to get good gear, there's a chance to get cores, there's a chance to get schemas, equipment, but there is always a chance to get a room key. So what I would do is I would just save up.
So, story time. And this is how I'm bad. I would find those all the time, the keys. I didn't realize that they opened the chests in the red smoke rooms. I thought they just like did it to a random one somewhere in the map. So I just got it and be like, I'd either drop it. If I exfilled with it, was because I took it off someone like last second. But I'd usually drop, be like, I don't have time to go needle in a haystack on this. Um, I did this off stream on my last stream because we were wiping, you know, end of the server slam. I sold my whole vault because I did find a gold schema for the heavy weapon heavy round pulse rifle that fucking slaps. I found a schema for it, couldn't afford it, so I was like, you know what? We're about to wipe anyway. Let me sell my fucking vault and then buy it, then go back in and feel like a god. So did it, and bro, I was sitting on like 20 of those lockbox keys, and I'm low key really mad about it now, but I'm excited for it when I play again because now I fucking know. But I was sitting on like 20 of them. And like there was so many times toward the end of the runs where like I've been going in solo and like solo's rough, dude. Like there's a lot of rats. And I went into solo with some free loadouts at the end where like I didn't have to be a peasant. I could have gone in with some keys and fucking gotten some good shit, maybe extract and then go to a next run or maybe just shit on some people. And I just didn't do it because I didn't know that's what it did. Uh so like that there's always something to learn. Like I have like quite a few amount of hours in this. I almost got to level 30 and mainly solo. Yeah, this game has depth, dude. Like there's a lot to learn.
Lockbox keys, and there's even an upgrade for you to buy them. Yeah, so when you're with CyberAcme and you rank this up, you get the first upgrade. You could do this in the server slam. Get a locksmith, and you can buy a lockbox key in the armory. You just stock up a bunch of these lockbox keys, and you just find one of the flare rooms. Once you find the flare room, there will be like at least 5 or more lockboxes that you can open. Once you get a key for a key room, then you open it. You'll always get a purple or a gold item from these key rooms. Another thing is on Dire Mart.
That is just so much pain that I was living like a peasant.
There'll be this lockdown event. It will be this giant flip phone that spawns in the sky. It'll be shooting down this giant red beam. When you walk into it, you take damage. So again, the more you play, you'll find out, oh, the antivirus pack will prevent me from taking damage in this giant red beam, in this giant red dome. So once you can enter the dome, you'll see there will be this machine that has a giant blue light beaming out of it. What you have to do is you find this yellow, like exotic item in the area, and you just deposit it into this machine. Once you do that, the red dome lowers. So now you don't need the antivirus, and there will be 3 waves of UESC that spawn. You just kill them, you clear out the whole area, and then boom, you can open up the machine that was shooting out the blue
I never
light,
got a
and it
chance to
will
do this
leave
one. I wish I
you for
did though.
gold items
This was
plus encounters
solos
again.
more than teamed.
I think there's like a very low chance that it's anything under a purple. Once you do 1 wave of the lockdown, there will be 2 more that spawn right after. So again, like I said, lack of experience is why you guys weren't getting loot. It's an extraction shooter. You gotta learn the ins and outs of the map. We're gonna be playing these maps over and over and over again. We're about a month in, we're gonna know every single little detail on like, oh, I need to get unstable lead. Let me go to this area. Oh, I need to get unstable diodes. Oh, I can find that in any POI. Let me just go look for it real quick. Oh, I need to find this blue material so I can get an upgrade. Let me go in this area. I know it's over here. You know, we're just gonna find it out over time. It's like when you play Arc Raiders. It's like when you play damn Battlegrounds, right? It's like, oh, I need to get
Trying to go to bio research and hunt the one thing for some kind of gel. That shit's not for the weak, guys.
the meds. Let me go over to testing annex, right? You'll always find meds here. I need to get the credits for the expedition. All right, let me go to research and administration. I'll just open up the lockers. I know a bunch of them spawn there. It's the same situation. We just have to learn the spawn points and learn where things are. Then it'll be so easy. You know, this whole there wasn't any loot, no significant loot on the map. It's because you guys don't know the map, and it's all right. You're just inexperienced. It's a skill. It's not a skill issue. My bad. I'm sorry. It offends a lot of people when I say that, but you're just a lower tier player and you got to work your way up. So it's all good. If I were to give the server slam a rating, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. I don't think it was perfect. There was a lot of bugs. There was a lot of performance issues that I know a lot of people in my stream and in my chat were complaining about. And it's just like, all right, they got to test it or like that. I just feel like that can't happen, you know? So a lot of people were having issues. But if there were no bugs, no issues like that, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I just think it's so hard for people to get over that initial hump. People aren't willing to like actually learn games nowadays, you know? Everyone's looking at their first chance to shit on a game or they'll see a review. They got the algorithm opinions. Whatever they see in their algorithm is their opinion. But I think a lot of the hate is either from misconceptions, lack of knowledge, lack of skill, or they just wanted the game to fail from the very beginning for like some other personal reason they have with Bungie. I think everyone that actually sunk the hours into the game, their opinion flipped. I think a lot of people realize, oh, this game has a lot more depth to it. It's not one of those type of games where you play like 1 day a week. It's the type of game where you want to spend hours. You're grinding this game. It's hardcore. I don't think this game is going to be for the average Joe that gets on every night and plays an hour. And that's all right. You know, there's a lot of good games out there. Not every game has to be for you. Like for me, like I know Elden Ring is good. I know it's a well-made game. I know Sekiro, Dark Souls, what else? What's the new game coming out? Crimson Desert. Like I know these type of games are good, right? Final Fantasy, Resident Evil. I know those are good games. I'm just never gonna play them. Maybe when I'm older, but you know, for me, I like to aim, I like to shoot stuff. I'm really into like competitive type of games, but I'm not gonna bash on those games because like I realize that they're good, and I think that's what's happening with this game. A lot of people are just hating on it because it's not for them. The game is good, it has a lot of depth, and I think there's gonna be a lot to do when the full game comes out. Like I said, we haven't played Outpost, and I keep hearing this is a PvP map. Like it's even more fast paced than Dire March. So there's Outpost, there's ranked mode, and then there's Cryo Archive, which is like their raid type of activity, but obviously in the form of an extraction shooter. So just imagine like a Destiny dungeon with PvP. So yeah, I guess that is like kind of my rating. But again, I just wanted to make a follow-up video.
Can you imagine you're just on Sunder Doctrine in Locksmith, and all of a sudden you're trying to do the mechanic, you're about to go to DPS, then like another team just comes in and PvPs you? Like, do you know how crazy that would be? That'd be so fun.
From my last video, because yeah, initially that video was getting a lot of hate comments and a lot of dislikes, but you know, I really do stand by it still, even though it might be like, I guess, offensive to some people. You know, it's really not even bad to be bad at the game. I was bad at the game when I first started playing, but I worked on it. Then I started to get good at it. I don't think everyone was willing to put the time into it, so it's not for you, and that's cool. You just gotta accept it though. It's all right. And if you want to get better, then you can work on it. No one's gonna shame you for it. But I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you guys drop a like. Remember to sub. All right, peace.
So yeah, Kruzer always coming out with some bangers. Drops tomorrow, guys. Let's get it. Hope to see you there, and GG's.